All right, so we are working on another example where we are going to find the surface area of a cylinder. So in this example, it says find the surface area of the cylinder. We're going to use 3.14 for pi, and it says to use the surface area formula for cylinder. The surface area formula is that we are going to take the area of the rectangular shape, which is 2 pi r times the height. R stands for the radius. And then we're going to add that in with the two bases, which are going to be the circles. So that's how we're going to find the surface area of this object here. All right, so what we're going to do is first, let me draw out my net. So we know that we're going to have a circle. You're going to have the rectangle, and then you're going to have your second circle. Okay. All right. And so first thing I'm going to do is try to find the area of the circles. So remember that when we're looking for the area of the circle, our formula is going to be pi times the radius squared. So that's how we find the area of the circle. So in this case, do they say, okay, we're going to use 3.14 in place of pi. So area is equal to 3.14 times the radius. The radius is 1.5, so 1.5. And we're going to square that. So what we end up with is area is equal to 3.14 times 1.5 to the second power. So I know that's going to be 2.25. And what I did was I just know that 15 times 15 is 225. And then I know that if I have 15 times 15, I know that there was a decimal in between each of those when I multiply. So there should be two decimals to the right. Okay. But you can plug it into your calculator, whatever works for you. And so now what I'm going to do is figure out what is 3.14. 3.14 times 2, what, back up, 2.25. We end up with area is equal to 7.065. And we are talking about centimeters, not cube. So that is going to be square centimeters. Okay. Now that is the area of each of these circles. So we have 7.065 square centimeters here, 7.065 square centimeters here. Okay. So what we could do is just multiply it, right? So area is equal to 7.065 times 2, and that is going to be equal to 14.13 square centimeters. So that is the area or where the sum of the two circles. Okay, so I've added up the two circles. So we know that together that comes up to 14.13. Now let's move into our rectangular shape. So the rectangle, remember that the formula for area of a rectangle is going to be length times width, or you could say base times height. Either one is going to get you the same thing. In terms of our base is going to be the same thing as our circumference of the circle. Remember, if I cut this open, what's going to happen is that line will just roll out. One half will come over here. The other half is going to go over there, okay? Or the other end, I should say. And then that's going to form basically our base. Okay, so in order for me to find the base, I'm really just finding the circumference. And I know that the circumference of a circle is equal to twice the radius times pi. Okay, and so what do we have then? We've got circumference is equal to twice the radius. The radius is 1.5. Okay, so we've got times 1.5. And then we're going to multiply that by pi, 3.14. Okay, so we've got circumference is equal to 2 times 1.5. That gives me 3. And then 3 times 3.14. So we're going to multiply those. So we have 3.14 times 3. We end up with 9.42. This is centimeters. It is not squared, although I was getting ready to say squared, because we are not talking about area. We're only talking about the circumference, so we haven't squared anything. So this is 9.42 for the base, 9.42 centimeters, and our height is going to be 8. So our height, I'll put it over here, height is 8. Okay, so remember, to find the area of a rectangular shape, what you need to know is the base times the height. In this case, we know our base is going to be 9.42. We know that our height is going to be 8. So I'm going to multiply those two together. Area is going to be equal to 9.42 times 8 of those is 75.36. And remember, this is area, so we need to make sure that we use the proper unit. So centimeters square or square centimeters. So that is the area of this shape. So it's 75.36 square centimeters. So remember, the surface area is just adding up all three of these shapes, right? So our surface area then is going to be surface area is equal to 7.065. Well, we know there's two of those, and we already found the area. I'm sorry, the sum of those two. So it's 14.13. And we're going to add that into our rectangle. So 75.36. And so when I add those two together plus 14.13, we end up with 89.49. And remember, we talked about area, so this is square centimeters. So that is your answer here, 89.49.